Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and as you can see from the design in the puzzle, we're looking at tennis today. We're in the middle of the Wimbledon tennis tournament, which literally takes over the public consciousness for a while here, unless you're really anti-sport. The local tennis courts all start filling up with people, and you see a lot of people walking around in white. In my area, you get passed on the streets by quite a lot of Wimbledon liveried cars, so that's always quite amusing as well. I like to think they're ferrying players to and from the courts. But anyway, we've often had puzzles commemorating tennis before, and James Kopp, I think, has even done puzzles with rackets in before, but he's done another, and it's called Aced, and I'm looking forward to giving it a go. So we'll take that on in a moment. Don't forget that we've got Regeneration, the brilliant sort of wormy Sudoku hunt, available on Patreon. Do check that out. There's a couple of tough puzzles in the 6, but they are all manageable, and we've had hundreds of correct entries. Well done to those people. We've also got other stuff on Patreon, including crosswords and connections videos. We've got all of our apps, which do feature line Sudoku, and many others, including Fog of War, and also the worms, the very professional worms of Marty Sinclair. I've done it again. Of Marty Sears and James Sinclair. Sorry, I'm mashing up two great people there. Now, they're all on the links under the video, along with SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD, but the first link is to this puzzle, and you can have a go at it yourself. I'm going to explain the rules of Aced now, and that goes like this. So each row, column, and box contains the digits 1 to 9. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Quite a relief after some recent puzzles. Digits do not repeat along a marked blue diagonal, so each diagonal is a set of the digits 1 to 9 as well. Adjacent digits along an orange line have a difference of at least 4. That's a Dutch whisper line. The box borders divide the blue line into segments of the same sum. So those 2 will add up to those 4, will add up to those 2, will add up to those 3. The central 3 by 3 box must form a magic square. I nearly missed a very important rule there. We've got 2-2. Is that the set score, with 3-1 being the game score either side of the net? That makes sense. But anyway, do give this a try on that link under the puzzle. Anyone for tennis? Let's get cracking. So, the magic square. So we know things about the magic square. That requires all the digits 1 to 9. It requires all of them to add up to the same sum for every 3-cell row, column, or 3-cell diagonal. Now, we know the total of each box in a Sudoku. It's 45. That's a secret, but you can share it. Therefore, we divide that by 3, and each row adds up to 15. So do the diagonals, etc. Now, there's only one digit that can go in the middle, because that is on 4 different groups that add up to 15. That's got to be a 5. We also know that 1 and 9 can't go in the corners because they would be in 3 sets. And 1 can only go with, in one case, 8 and 6, and in the other case, 5 and 9. So 1 and 9 must be not in corners. They must be in these cells. We also know that every row must have either 2 even digits or none at all. So once we've put 1 and 9 there, we're going to have to put 3 and 7 in with them. And the corner cells are 2, 4, 6, and 8. And that is the start of our magic square. Now, we've got the Dutch whisper thing going. Oh, we've also got this, right. I mean, if that was a 2, these add up to 13. Okay, these 4 cells add up to at least 10, because 1, 2, 3, 4 is the minimum total, or gives the minimum total for 4 cells. That has to be equivalent to the sum here. So these must add up to at least 10, and this can't add up, therefore, in this sum of 15 to more than 5. So that is 2 or 4. That must be opposite 6 or 8 on this diagonal. That didn't really get me much more. I'm now going to think about these 2, which have to include a low digit. If that was a 2, these would add up to 13. They could be 4 and 9. They couldn't be 6 and 7. So if that's a 2, we're going 4, 9, 2 here. Just going to note that as a possibility. If this is a 4 here, however, then these two add up to 11, but they must have a difference of at least 4. So I think they could go 2, 9, 4. That would be fine. They can't go 8, 3, 4. And there's no... They can't go 4, 7, 4. So I think this has to be a 2, 4 pair at the top here. And with a 9 between them. Pretty confident about that, given these orange and blue racket intersections into the central box. And that gives us a 1 over here to make this add up to 15. This digit can't be 2 or 4 anymore. Now, well, we still don't know. This pair is either going to add up to, depending on what that is, to 11 or 13. If it's 11, this is a 1, 2, 3, 5 quad, where the 2 would be here. That would be a 3, and this would be a 1, 5 pair. Then these would add up to 11. These would add up to 11, including a 1, because 11 in 3 cells that are different always has a 1 or a 2. Right, let's do alternation along this. Yes, we've also got the benefit of having a circle or a loop. Now, we know something about polarity, highness and lowness. If it was a German whisper line, we would know it would always alternate between higher than 5 and lower than 5. A Dutch whisper line can have a 5 on, and that 5 can change this polarity alternation, because it could have a 1 one side and a 9 the other. So it can change the polarity alternation. It doesn't have to, because you could put a 5 there and a 9 here and not have changed polarity alternation. But the length of this loop is 9 cells, not an even number, but an odd number. And therefore, I diagnose that it has either 1 or 3 5s on it, changing the parity alternations. Now, it can't have 3, because it can only have 1 in that column and 1 in that box. So there is 1 5 on this loop, coming between a 1 and a 9 to do that polarity alternation change. And where does it appear? The 5 does not appear here, because that would not be next to a 1 or 9. It does not appear here because it's already been on the diagonal. And it doesn't appear here because that C's 5. Now, it doesn't appear here either, because that digit can't be 1 or 9. So I think I'm down to these cells for the 5 to appear in. Again, it can't be here, because that digit can't be 1 or 9, and the 5 is going to be surrounded by 1 and 9. Oh, it can't even be here, because that digit can't be 1, and you wouldn't get the parity alternation. That's beautiful. I'm just going to check again that everywhere else around this loop is ruled out. This is ruled out because that's not 1 or 9. This one, because we've had 5 on the diagonal. That's I think, what the diagonals are for. That's beautiful. This one is ruled out. No, it's not ruled out. That's green. That's the one it's going to be. This is ruled out because that can't be 1 or 9. This is ruled out because it sees 5. This is ruled out because that can't be 1 or 9. And this is ruled out because that can't be 1 specifically, and we've already got 9 here. That's brilliant. So that's the 5. It's surrounded by 1 each of 1, 9. Now, we know which one this is because... No, we don't. Yes, we do, because we're not parity alternating here. We are just following high and low. So this one is higher than 2 or 4. This is 6, 7, or 8. This is low, therefore, and is 1. Then we get 5. Then we have to alternate the parity to 9. I'm going to get rid of the colouring that I did. And I haven't bothered to colour. Oh, this is low, but it sees 1, 2, and 3. That's a 4. This is a beautiful puzzle. I think I've literally nailed these deductions one after another. I'm very proud of myself, he said smugly. I just watched a Bryson DeChambeau golf video. Wow, that guy praises himself a lot. It was very entertaining. Anyway, that's not quite our style on the channel. Now, I don't know what's happening there yet. 9430. That's a 1 by Sudoku. 9413. One of these two is a 5, but it can't be on the diagonal. That's beautiful. This is such an elegant piece of work, James, as always. There's a 5 in row 3. I can find that. Right, now I'm going to have to do a bit of blue line work soon. Oh no, I've still got this, the handle of the racket. This is low, and it can't be 2. So it's 1, 3, or 4. And then this is high or 5. I'm not too worried about parity alternation and 5 finding down there. Right, this central column, we need an 8 in one of those cells. Everything else is from 3, 6, 7. Now that pair is either a 2-8 pair or a 4-6 pair. This is the other one. I think I am going to have to move on to this. Now we've always said that these add up to 13 or 11. If it's 13, it's a 7-6 pair. If it's 11, it's a 3-8 pair. Could we put 8 here? The other two would have to be either a 1-2 pair or a 1. They couldn't be that. They'd have to be a 1-4 pair with a 4 here. That would make that a 2, which would prove the line was worth 13. That is possible. So 8 can be on that line. I'd hope to rule it off. Failed. Okay, this digit. It sees 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. So that is 4, 6, 8, or 9. Right. This line can't add up to 11 because this can't be anything from 1, 2, 3, 5. That's beautiful as well. There's a 3 definitely in one of those cells. So this line can't be 1, 2, 3, 5, which is the only combination in 4 digits that adds up to 11. And therefore, all of these blue line segments add up to 13. And now we know this pair. It's got to be 7, 6, which feels very wrong having done an orange line for so long and having to switch over to blue, but there we go. 7 and 6, that's a 2, that's a 4. We complete the magic square. This now can't be 2 or 8. This one can't be 6. 8, 5, 2, 3, 1. These are from 4, 6, 7, 9. 3 and 1 on the diagonal. 1 has to be somewhere there and 3 in one of those cells. Right, let's focus on these lines adding up to 13 then. Because this one's going to have a 1 on. I think all possible 4 cell lines adding to 13 must have a 1 on. Because otherwise there'd be 2, 3, 4, 5 at a minimum, which adds to 14. So the 1 is in one of those cells. 9 is impossible. 8 is impossible, because even that would leave 3 cells adding up to 5. So this is 6 or 4. And now, has anything been ruled? If it was a 6, the other 3 cells would be 1, 2, 4. And you couldn't put 2 of them here, because 4 and 2 are already in that row. So that is not a 6. That is a 4. These cells add up to 9 using a 1. And either 2 there and a 6 up here, or 1, 3, 5, which would be, don't know which way round that would be. These add up to 13 as well. This one has become 3, 4, 5, or 9. I wanted to rule at least 9 out. I don't think I can quite do it. This is a 13 pair. Oh, and this digit is not 4, 5, or 6. So this is the high digit in the 13 pair, 7, 8, or 9. And this is the lower one, 4, 5, or 6. This digit sees 3 and 4 in the row now. That's become a 1. That doesn't inform much on the whisper, does it? Oh, the 4 does, though. That makes that an 8. That can't be 2 or 8. Now I've got a 6, 7 pair in the top row, to my astonishment. 1, 4, 5, 6. This one can't be 2 or 8, because that's a pair here. So this digit is 3, 7, or 9. This one has done its colourful job. 18276. I've got a 2 sitting under that digit, so that's a 3. That's a 6-7 pair. This is a 2. There's a 2 in one of those cells. This 6-7 pair forces a 3-8 pair at the bottom. Now this racket's adding up to, what is it, 13. Still, that could be an 8 if that was a 4 and that was a 1. Actually, these digits are 1, 6, 7. That's not a 3. We are getting quite limited. If that wasn't a 1, then it would be 6, 3, 4. So it can't be a 7. If it was a 1, we could have 3, 9 or 8, 4. So this is never a 5. I mean, that wasn't quite as conclusive. Now I feel, you know, I bragged myself up a moment ago and now I'm stumbling around again in the dark a little bit. 8, 4, 9, 2. The 1 is in one of those. We've said that. We've virtually finished the orange racket. We really haven't finished the blue. And that's because I am just pootling around, not finding what to do. Interesting. Okay, 2, 8, 5, 1. We need a 3 definitely in one of those 2 cells. This digit is 4, 6, 7 or 9 by Sudoku having got that 3 issue. So that's a 4, 6, 7, 9 quad, and these 2 are 2 and 8. Perhaps that was easier to see some other way. And perhaps it doesn't really help at all. We can't have 4, 5 or 6 again on this line. I don't quite know what that does. 3 is either here or here on that diagonal, which stops 3 being there. It couldn't have been there anyway because it's got to be... Oh, we've placed 1 on this diagonal in the corner. Right, and that's leaving 3 in one of those 2 spots. That 1 sees this digit. That becomes a 6, and now this has to be 6, 3, 4 on the racket handle. This can't be 4, 9 now. That's become an 8. We've taken 4 out of those and 6 out of those. Okay, that was progress briefly. 1, 8, 5, 2. We need a 3. That's got to be here since we just put that in. That 3 is looking up the grid? Not really. This digit is 4, 6, 7 or 9. I don't want to pencil mark quite so many for once. 2 is in one of those. That's not interesting. This is where diagonals get quite difficult suddenly, diagonal puzzles. There's a 4 in one of those 2 cells. 8, 1, 2, 4. 9's probably in one of these. 8's over here and up here. Right. I have to try and rededicate myself a bit, try and work out what's going on. How about this column? Or am I still just trying to shortcut the puzzle? 6 can only be there or there in column 3. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to think about this 13 sum on the racket head here. So we've either got 1, 2, 4, 6, in which case that's 8, 9, and the other digits in the box come from 3, 5, 7. Or we've got 1, 3, 4, 5, in which case these come from 2, 7, 9. I don't know. That's interesting, but it's not decisive. 1, 6, 8, 4. This can't be 5. This is 2, 3, 7 or 9. I just don't think this is forming me the patterns I'm looking for. Oh, there's a 3 there and a 3 there. So one of these 2 is a 3. If that's a 3, the 3 on the diagonal is there. Is that going to impair anything? If that's a 3, that's a 3. Then that would be a 3. And these would be a 1-5 pair. I can't see why that's a problem either. 6, 5, 1, 8, 2, 3. Is that a 6? Not sure. 2, 8, 5, 1, 3. These are from 4, 6, 7, 9. They form a quad. That's not interesting again. Oh, goodness, James, you've aced me just at the death, just as I was at match point. I'm going to have to come back with something now. Right. Either that's a 4, if that's a 4, that's also a 4 on the diagonal. That would only leave that as a place for 4 in box 9. There in box 4 and there in box 3. And yet that seems to work. What I want to find is some combination that just doesn't work. Oh, where's 1 in this row? Yes, where's 1 in this box? It's in one of those two cells. So that's fixed 7 and 1 there. Just trying to work out why that was happening, and I hadn't noticed it before. Now that stops this being 7, which puts 7 on one of those cells and not there. That's very minor. It also stops these being 7. Is that of any interest? It would be if I knew that wasn't 7, perhaps. 7 in this box? No. No, it didn't do very much. We still need a 9 in this row. I don't know a lot about that. I'm basically one step away on the diagonals from something useful and interesting that will finish the puzzle, I think. But I can't get it. Okay, so what did we get? We got a 1 in one of those cells, and we know there's a 1 in one of those. Are we building up a 1, 5, 6 triple in column 8, perhaps? Or something subtler in column 9? You see, if that can be 8, then 8 isn't in those cells. But if it couldn't, if that had to be a 2, that would be very useful, because then 8 would have to be in these cells and not here. And I think that would probably get us most of the way. I don't know. 1 can't be on this diagonal. Oh, it's so straightforward. 1 is there. That's a 1. Now that makes a difference, because that reduces the possibilities here at least. So those add up to 5. These two add up to 8, and that's 5 or 2. It's not 3. And now 3 in this final column, I suppose it could be here. I wanted to say it was going to have to be here. I've got all the ones in the grid, and they were really easy to do if I'd just noticed that they were easy to do. This is 2, 8, or 9. 2, 8, 6, 9, almost forming something in this column. Oh, what am I not noticing now about the diagonals? There is something. 3, 1, 2, 4. This whole thing has slowed me down very considerably. Well done, James. This is 4, 6, or 9. And that's 2. If that's not a 7, then that's a triple. 4, 6, 9, 1, 3. That would leave these being from 5, 7, 8. They would have to be 5, 8 if that's not a 7. 4, 6, 9, 1, 3. That would be 2. That would be 7. Oh, that's interesting. So either this is a 7, but if it's not, we've got a 4, 6, 9 triple. These are from 5, 7, 8, which makes this a 6, which makes this a 7, which makes them a 5, 8 pair. Then you get 2 there and 7 there. So 7 is always in one of these two cells. If that's not a 7, that has to be. And that is an interesting reduction of 7 possibilities. 7 is now in one of those two. And maybe this just wasn't quite enough to get, I don't know, there might be an X-wing or something, or a Y-wing. Oh, there's some tricky last step here, isn't there? I don't know if I'm going to, I mean, that, what I just did was perhaps not elegant, but it was very intricate. 5, 1. Oh, we need a 2 in this column and a 3. Oh, but the 3 can be there. Oh, well, that's interesting. Hang on. One of these is a 3 or a 2. But that doesn't mean this can't be a 2 or a 3. In fact, it can be. Does it have to be the other one in this box? Oh, this is a weird little dichotomy going on. I can't quite work it out, I'm afraid. I mean, I think it's an interesting point about where 2 and 3 go in this column. If that's a 3, oh, then that isn't a 2. It would be more interesting if that became a 2, because then this would be a 2. This would be 3 in the corner. If that's a 3, this is definitely a 3. If that's a 6, okay, does something happen then? If this is a 6, that's an 8-9 pair, then this is a 6. Yeah, this is worth a little thought at this point. No, but I don't think that trail goes anywhere either. I really am missing them. These are from 4, 6, 7, 9. I know that in this row. I've just never pencil marked that, despite being able to see it. These are from 3, 5, 6, 7 in this row, as is this digit. I hate doing all this pencil marking. I really do, because it's just so much. This is from 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. And again, we're almost looking at a quintuple or a sextuple, but not quite. 2 or 8 is there, and the other of 2 or 8 is either an 8 here or a 2 here. Eight here would force this to be 7, 6. 2 here would make one of these a 2, which would make the 2 in column 7 there. That would force 5 and 3. No, I cannot quite get through this. We're very, very close. We just need one little deduction, I think, at this point. 1, 5, 3, 2, 8. I can't see it. I know that. I know I can't see it, and I apologize, but I am trying. Very trying, Mark. Right. 3s, 1s, 2s, 6s. 2 is definitely in one of those 2 cells. I wish that helped. I know 2's in one of those. 2 and 8 is in one of these 3. Okay, for that to be an 8, that has to be 8. Let's just see if that does anything thrilling to 8s. It almost certainly doesn't. It does put 8 there and there. So 8s would be in all of these positions if this was an 8. I don't know what the effect of that was. Maybe I should combine it with this being a 5. Although 5s haven't actually been very interesting in the puzzle. Okay, these 2 add up to 8. They are either a 3, 5 or a 2, 6 pair. If they're 2, 6, what then? I don't know. If they're 3, 5, we've got 3 in the corner. I can't quite tease this last step out. It's very annoying. This one is 3, 4, 6, 7 or 9. Absolutely useless. Unconstrained. Okay, let's have another look at this column. Oh, this was the one where I had either 8 there or 2 there, and only one of those applying. 8 there, we worked out where all the 8s went in that case. Oh, was there a diagonal problem? 8, this is worth thinking about. 8, 8, 8, 8 on the diagonal. So 8 has to be off the diagonal here, then it's there. And then with the givens, no, that would be fine. So, does it go the other way round? Is there a problem if that's 7? Or this 5 or 6 is not a problem because we know it's not to be on the diagonal down here. That's just almost not interesting. It's this cell. I think it's this cell. This is both on the diagonal and on the racket. And it's doing something here. This all got a lot harder, didn't it? 7, I've said, is in one of those 2 cells. This isn't a 7. 7 on the diagonal is now in one of those 2 cells. Why can't that be any use? It would be nice if that was useful. If 7 was here, that would be a 6, and 7 would be on the other diagonal immediately. So 7 would have got on both diagonals. Then we'd definitely get the 3 in the corner. Okay, if that happened, so I'm basing it off 7 in row 2, column 2. We'd get a 3 in the corner because 8 and 2 would appear on the negative diagonal. We would... I think I've got a problem with 9s in this column. Look at that. Actually, the pencil marking already is telling me that none of these are 9. 9 is in one of those cells. This can't be 9. Now, okay, I'm going to go back. If that was 7, look, I've got a 2, 7, 8 triple on this. In fact, I've got a 2, 8 pair now on this diagonal. There we go. That's taken about 10 minutes of absolute brain-wrenching agony. But it makes that a 7. Now I've got a 3, 9 pair left on the diagonal in those 2 cells. They do both see that one, but that's probably not very interesting. But anyway, I got 7 there and I got 6 here. Now this ought to do something. I claimed a moment ago that I only needed one more bit of information, and I think it came from limiting 9s here. Anyway, let's see if this works. That's not 6. That's not 6. That's not 7. 7 on this diagonal is in one of those 2 cells. This row needs 5, 8, and 9 in some place. Come on, 7, 1, 6. 4 in box 9 is in one of those 2 cells now. And that's not a 4. 3 and 4 are both down there. 6, 8, 1. Don't tell me this didn't finish off. I don't think it did, actually. 9, come on. 9's in one of those cells, so neither of these are 9. Look at all these. 3 2-cell candidates, each of which uses 9. So that starts making me wonder where do 2 and 4 go in the row, but I can't actually answer that. Good grief. Okay, I'm going to colour 2s and 8s. Time to colour. Orange, pink. That's on the diagonal, so that's orange, that's pink. That's going to tell me that this cell sees both orange and pink and is not a 2. And that's going to tell me where 2 goes in this box. And that's going to tell me where 7 goes in this box. And that's going to tell me this is a 6, that's a 7 in the corner. That this isn't 7, that we don't have another 7 on the diagonal, very obviously. That we now have 6 in one of those positions, ruling out, well, 6 has actually been ruled out from both of those by appearing here. That's not 7 and that's not 6. 1, 2, 7, 3. Has anything else happened here? 6 is in one of those 2. 2, 8, 6, 5, 1. We've got 3, 4, 7, 9 up here. Okay, did I need to do more of this colouring? Yes. Look, that 2 is now looking up at pink. I didn't need to colour, I just needed to spot that and use the colours. Therefore, the orange is a 2. And that 8 is looking at that cell. Don't tell me that's all it's doing. This 8 is looking at that cell. Oh look, I can place 8 in box 7. How am I doing on 8s? They're almost all in. This digit is becoming a 9. Yes, naked. That's the last 8. This is 6 over this side. That ought to help because it places 6 here and that's on the diagonal. So that places 6 in box 3 off the diagonal. We get 7 and 6 there. Oh, we're so nearly there now. Come on. 7, 6, 1, 8. 4 we know is in one of those cells. I still haven't resolved this bloomin' racket. 8, 2, 6. That can't be 6. In fact, neither of those can be 6. That's blindingly obvious. One of those is a 6. 2, 6, 8, 1. This first column, no. It's still maybe this column. 3, 4, 5, 7, 9 still to place. Oh, 6 is looking at that cell. So I have finished the racket now with a 3 and a 5. That surely is going to do it. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light losing its religion. That's a 2. We've got 4, 9. The 3 on the diagonal looks up at the other bit of the diagonal. We get a 9 there. 4, 7 there, 9 and 4. We've got 5 and 7 to place in column 8. 4 and 1, no, not 1, 2 in column 7. Now I can finish 5, 9 here. This is known, it's a 5. That's 4 or 9. Looking up this column now. 2, 6, 5, 9, 8. 3, 4, 7 still to place. This one must be a 7. That's 4. This is 3. This is 5. This is 9. 4, 9, 4. And I wouldn't say we've aced that puzzle. We've battled through a 5-setter and finally achieved the goal. Game, set and match to the solver and the setter. Why not? Let's have a different result from a tennis match. Good fun. Thank you, James. Excellent puzzle. Always a pleasure to feature you on the channel. And thank you so much for watching us. Hope you had a go at that puzzle. It's very interesting. Some quite intricate diagonal logic, I think, there, as well as combining brilliantly with the rackets. See you next time. Bye for now.